Hello everybody, G.reviewz here, and today we are taking a look at something very different. This is the Transformers Studio Series Coronation Starscream from the Transformers 1986 animated film. The only decent Transformers film that has ever existed. I picked this up purely because trying to get a masterpiece Starscream with the Coronation gear isn't going to be easy. I will link a video down in the description below if you want to see my reasons why, because that masterpiece Starscream kind of fucking sucks. So, I bought this and we are going to review it today. So I don't know why I put the box down, but yeah, starting off with it, this awesome artwork of Starscream in his coronation gear on the front, and I am absolutely down for it. I fucking love this. You've got the Transformers logo on the side. We've got the Transformers Generations logo up here. It's just basically full of a lot of different like gubbins and garbage showing what it's got on the inside, and amazing Transformers the movie logo on top. It's all amazing, and it's made by Takara Tomy, the same company that makes the Masterpiece line, which is a lot better than this figure, but still, I will take any Coronation Starscream I can feasibly afford. And before we get onto the figure itself, what you do also get in this set is the throne, the Coronation throne, and on the back we have the extra null rays. I'll be getting into that in a second, but obviously it's a very neat way to obviously store the null rays on the back of throne, so they're not sort of being tossed into a bag or sort of thrown underneath. You also do have some extra ports on the inside of here where you can stick the shoulder pads and stuff, and then the crown can attach on here and things like that. What you do also as well get is this awesome backdrop of the Coronation Room. I guess that's what you could call it. It's got this very nice Transformers, the movie logo on the bottom, all the Studio Series stuff, and then it's just basically a piece of blank cardboard on the back. It's really, really cool. It's a very nice sort of centerpiece for the actual throne and figure to go on, basically. And here we have the Coronation Starscream in all of his coronation gear. And from the back, it doesn't look impressive from the back, but from the front, it does look fairly okay. I'm not too pleased with this sort of dangling off nose cone. It's kind of weird. They've had to sort of, I'll have to take the coronation cape off. They've had to kind of offset the rest of the nose cone on this weird little bit that juts out, and if you try and have it just the profile is just it's just weird. And then obviously it's, you kind of have to bring it, center his head, bring it over his head to then sort of start transforming. It's just really, it's really weird. I'm not a fan of it, but again, I'll take anything I can get that I can feasibly afford that's Starscream in his coronation gear at the moment. The other thing that I hate that they could have maybe sort of told a bit better is the way that the null rays are sort of attached to his arms when he has these sort of coronations shoulders on, is that they've stuck them on this weird separate sort of hinge joint here, so you can move them out and then move his arm out, but then they just basically look like really weird, because without these the null rays basically are like that, but if you have like the like these bits on, the null rays just look completely like too far out, like way too far out, like, you know, that's supposed to be more up here. It just looks weird in my opinion. I don't know why they couldn't have just like made the peg on the shorter version of the null rays just a little bit longer to actually help you stick these on, so you don't have to like you know, I guess you could just cut it down and then glue them on, but that just leads to a load of faffing about. So taking off his coronation gear so I can show it a bit better. So here we have the coronation gear null rays. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to shut that window. Anyway, so here we have the coronation gear null rays, which have been sliced off at the top of the little extra doodit at the top there, basically, so they can stick under the shoulder pauldrons a bit more so it doesn't get in the way of articulation. It's a very good idea, very good design, but like, as I said, the port that basically sticks in, this one's longer than this one, so if they stuck that longer one in and just basically put a hole through this whole purple section here, which they can feasibly drill a hole in and then just stick them in, it would have been so much easier, because you can just basically do that. You just need to size it now. I don't know why they didn't do it. Obviously you have his cape, and obviously, you know, this cape is supposed to be sort of stuck inside or sort of on the outside underneath these shoulder pieces, but obviously they can't do that with the way that Starscream is modelled, so they've just got this little peg on the back, and you just basically lift up this horrible nose cone, and just basically like cram it in his back, and then you can have it flayed out and put to an angle to so sort of he's swifting it in the wind, or what wind, it's in space, or you can have it like that basically and have it shut where it just looks like it's dangling and motionless. So it's kind of cool that they've incorporated this. I just feel like they could have maybe done it a little bit better out of actual fabric with a little bit of wire inside, but having this is feasible enough, because when you have this Starscream on display, unless you're displaying him from the back, you're not really going to see these hinges, and it's just going to be closed and a bit hidden. So it's not too much of a gripe. I just wish they'd done it a little bit better than this. Basically, the actual masterpiece Starscream's cape was done a lot better. And then, of course, no coronation gear would be finished without the crown, which has this very weird and disgustingly blue section underneath it, which I really, really hate. But the actual rest of the crown itself is really nice. A couple of reviews I've seen, people have been saying that some of the paint's scuffed and stuff. I think I'm lucky, because I have a crown where absolutely none of the paint is scuffed on this thing, and there is no paint bleed. So I love this. It's absolutely amazing. The same with the shoulder sections, which have these really nice reflective gold pieces on them, which is really nice. I'm really down for that. Absolutely love it. And you know, it's just, as soon as you start looking on the inside, it's just an absolute mess of gubbins and stuff that you need to stick things to. So yeah. So decking out Starscream in his normal null rays. I believe, from what I've heard, this is a retooling of another Transformers Kingdom sort of class Starscream figure from the Netflix line. I'm not sure. Correct me if I'm wrong. Let me know in the comment section. But from the front, he's amazing. My only gripe is, again, that the weird way that they've had to attach the chest, because you need to basically squeeze these bits in and pull out the whole chest assembly like that to start transforming him. And if you don't sort of fit it in right, and you've got to finagle some shit as you put him back into robot mode, if you don't get that right, it just looks weird, and he's got these weird sort of empty sections at the top, and if you lift up his arms, you've got just plain space. It just doesn't look right. You've got to always have him with his arms down low, and it just doesn't look right. It's just disgusting. But as just a cheap coronation gear Starscream, it does its job. It's nice. It's very G1, and I absolutely love it. Transforming this guy, I've not had any problems. I only got through half of the instructions, And then it was just like, oh, so that's how you do it. So what you want to do is, as I said before, you want to center his head and then bring up and lift this nose cone over. You'll have this tab which you want to fit under there, basically. So then all you've got to do is lift up his arms. You do not have to take off his null rays, but it helps. Questionable part, a bit of what I'm assuming would be called parts forming. I'm not sure. But yeah, lift up and open his arms, if I even freaking can. So you want to do that. Finagle his arms. Oh god, this is the fiddly thing about small Transformers figures, you know. And then you just want to have his arm sort of fitted like that, and then you have a little nub there that you just want to basically stick in, and then you'll be free to rotate the rest of it and have his hand like that. Same on the other side, when I just quickly finagle everything over. So again, same on the other side, and then you're free to put this section down and move his arm round, and then basically close his really awkwardly shaped fist. It basically looks like he's doing that or that. So again, just gently squeeze these bits and then lift that down. So then you'll be able to be free to lift this up, rotate this whole section, and then clip it in till it's basically one whole seamless piece with that. And then what else you want to do is fold these arms in, lift them in to this whole section here, which basically fills it up. And then what you can do then is, you get these two holes here, which where the null rays go, and then these two tabs on the inside of his chest, and then you can do that. So then the legs are fairly easy. Pull out these two shin bits, finagle his legs up, pretty much like that. I'd recommend you take, I'm getting too ahead of myself. These two tabs here, separate holes, one above the other, just press them in, and then you've got two tabs that are end of here, and then two holes at the top of the legs here that will basically clip in, and then you can close his legs. I recommend you lift this up to put them down and then put them in, because I think that just looks a little bit more cleaner than what if you just basically did that. I think that just looks a little weird. So personally, in my opinion, that just looks basically like a bit of a cleaner view, even from the side and the front. It just looks a bit better. So then he keeps coming apart as well. So you can then rotate these sections up and then fold that out, and then fold that out, and then there'll be a tab on the inside of these. You've just basically got to finagle and squeeze them into place, and then that's the back section of the engine of the jet done. And then you will have to I love this figure, but there's so much wrong with it. And then basically click that in, and here we have Starscream in his jet mode. Sadly, there is no landing gear, so you can't do anything like that. But from the top, he looks absolutely clean. Yes, there are some separation lines of where the stuff comes on. But then when you flip him over, oh god. Now, I believe from what I've seen of clips of the G1, this section of these bits here is basically accurate to the animation. I don't know. But you've got this whole sort of loose section where you can just get your finger right in there, and it just looks weird. Like they could have just used something to fill that up, and then you've got this whole weird hollow section there, and like you've just got this weird port on the top where I'm guessing you could just basically shove one of his null rays, or if you really wanted to, you could just get a little bit more weird and just randomly shove his cape back in there for an even weirder setup where you can just probably finagle, hold on, where you could probably just finagle these bits down, move his wings, put these wings back, and then you have Starscream flying with his coronation gear on for some reason. I don't even know anymore. Jet mode on this, absolutely amazing. I love it. It looks clean from the top, but anywhere else on this jet mode looks absolutely ugly. Personally, the transformation on this is really simple, although the tabs and stuff that keep most of the transformation bits in are kind of weak, especially these sections at the legs where they keep untabbing when you move things. Everything else is perfectly fine. This doesn't move when you're trying to transform it. Because there's studs on the back of these, they just clip into the arms and nothing moves on the back of here. And then obviously to get that full complete Starscream look, you can obviously plug his included null rays on the bottom, and he looks even more complete and even more like Starscream, which is absolutely amazing. So would I recommend this figure for everything that you get with it? Well, this was $54.99, and you know, obviously you get all the extra stuff in, but proportionally, robot to box, I feel like you could have maybe have shoved like a bigger jet mode in there, sort of angled at sort of like that. Maybe put a bigger jet mode, you get a bigger Starscream, but who am I to judge? You get all his coronation gear, his coronation throne, and this amazing backdrop as well for the £55. So I don't think that's too bad. I'd only recommend it to those who are really ready to spend that kind of money on this kind of Starscream, who just wants a simple little Starscream that doesn't take up too much space, because you do not have to use the added backdrop to sort of really close off this figure. You could have him in his jet mode if you just wanted a small Starscream jet mode to add to your collection. I don't know. It's just an idea. Or you could have him in his robot mode in his amazing coronation gear, maybe next to your Starscream in his coronation gear. Who knows? There is a much better Masterpiece Starscream out there, which I really do want to get, but it's a shame that you do not get him with his coronation gear. So, in terms of recommending this, I do, if you're a huge Transformers fan, like myself, and you just want to celebrate something from the G1 Transformers movie. So, if you enjoyed this review, sadly, I will not be looking at any more Transformers things, purely because it's just like, it's less of a kids thing now and more of a this is for collectors and adults thing now. This was just basically a one-off impulse buy because I really wanted a Starscream in his coronation gear. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I do hope you liked it. I will link my Patreon in the description and a pinned comment in the comment section below. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.